Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're interested in how I get this natural glam everyday makeup look, keep watching. In today's video, I will be showing you how to get a natural everyday makeup look. This will be a drugstore edition. I know a lot of times people are intimidated by doing their makeup because they think they always have to have these high-end brands such as MAC or Fenty. But in today's video, I will show you how you can get a natural glam look that you can wear every day, whether it's school, work, basically in your day-to-day activities, all for products that could be found at your local drugstore, Walmart, CVS, Target. So first things first, I like to take a makeup wipe and I like to cleanse my face to make sure that I haven't left any product on from the day before. And once that's done, I like to take an eyebrow spoolie. Got these off of Amazon, like a pack of 50 for like $4. And I just like to brush my brows up, make sure that they're semi-groomed before I get into priming my face. So the next step is I would like to use a primer. The primer that I use is the Maybelline Master Prime. A LA Colors Auto Eyeliner in the color Black Brown. I like to use the pencil versus the pomade. I feel like I have more control with the pencil versus the pomade. And I just twist it up a tad bit. And in the beginning, I like to do 5 little lines going straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the same thing to the other eye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I feel like those give you like hair-like strokes and they make your brows look a whole lot better. And then I'm just going to start from the bottom and outline my brows. You can make them any shape you like. You can make them thicker, you can make them wider. For me, I tend to just follow the natural brow hairs that I already have there. And I just fill it in. Just like that. And it's okay if they're a little crazy looking and they're, you know, too big, too wide, because you can always use concealer to clean it up. So once again, I'm going to do the same thing to the other brow. I am going to go in with concealer. And for this part, I like to use LA Pro Girl Concealer. These can be found at Ulta, Target, your local beauty supply store tend to have these as well. The shade I'm going to use is Cool Tan. I like to apply it to the back of my hand to ensure that I don't make a mess everywhere. And I use about that much. And then what I do is I go in with a concealer brush. And the brush I'm using, I believe I got this from the dollar store, but it's just a flat concealer brush. You can get it from basically anywhere. Any drugstore would have it as well. And what I like to do is I use the makeup wipe that I have. I just flatten it out to make sure it's flat. Just like that. Then I dip it into the pomade. And then I just put a couple dots. And then I drag down. And then once I drag down, I go back up closer and closer to outline my brow. And this step here, it just makes your brows look a little bit more filled in. A little of my hair is growing in right here, but with the concealer on top, you can't tell that you need to get your eyebrows filled in. I will say that this looks better if you're freshly groomed or freshly waxed. And then the same thing, I do a couple dots on top. And then I just like that. And you can continue to do To go in with a blender brush. This is a deluxe cut crease brush. It is the number 300 by Real Techniques. And then I'll just take it and I'll blend out. Go in with my foundation next. And the foundation that I use is the Maybelline Superstay foundation. I cannot find a color that matches, and that's in any foundation that I have. I always have to mix two foundations. So I'm going to use this one in the shade 334 Warm Sun. And I'm also going to mix it with 340. I'm going to do 2 pumps of each on each side to give me the perfect shade that I need. So I open it, and then this is the 334. 2 pumps, 2 pumps. And I know it's going to be a lot of makeup, but I like to do a lot of makeup. That is my preference, and it gives me that flawless base that I need. Then I'm going to go in with, this is a beauty blender or a sponge. It is wet. It's not soaking wet, it's just damp. And then what I like to do is just blend them in together. Could get the shade that I want, and then once I get the shade, I just blend it out. This foundation is super full coverage. I like it because I have a lot of long days. Typically I'm at the salon for about, I don't know, 10 hours a day, sometimes even longer than that. And I also have my son, so he's doing virtual school, so between him and work and school, I have to have my makeup on all day. I am up early in the morning, and by the time I get into bed most nights, it's after 11. So I like a full coverage look. If you don't like a full coverage look, you could always do a different foundation, a different drugstore. Some other alternatives would be the NYX or NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I do like that foundation a lot. I also like the CoverGirl foundation in the True Blend. They're all under $10 at your, I said grocery store, not at your grocery store, but at your Walmart or your Target or any drugstore that you have near you. So basically all I'm doing now is just blending, blending, blending. The next step after that would be to go in with concealer. I like to use another drugstore concealer, and it is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer, and it is in the shade Deep Olive. What I do now is I take this and I just apply it underneath my eye. For this shade, I go about 1 shade lighter than my foundation. That is the initial step. I will go in with a lighter shade in just a few minutes. So I like to go underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, top of my forehead, above my lip, and my chin. And now what I like to do, I just like to let this sit for about a minute or so. And while it's sitting, a lot of times I'll take like some gloss. This is just some MAC's lip polish. And I'll take some of that and I will apply it to my lips so that my lips will not be, so that my lips won't be chapped after I apply the liquid lipstick later in the video. So Once it sits for about a minute or so, then I'll go in and I will blend it out with the same sponge. Start on my chin. And I like to start there because I don't need a lot of coverage on my chin because I don't have a lot of blemishes or anything. That'll give my eyes time to sit and set. Then I like to go to my forehead, blend it out, and down the bridge of my nose. And I'm just patting it oh so lightly. And then I would like to go underneath my eyes. And I pat as light as possible. And you want to pat lightly to ensure that you're not messing up the foundation base that you've already applied. And by patting lightly, you will get a smooth finish underneath your eyes. And basically, I like to make sure that this is blended. I don't know if you can see the line of demarcation there, but I just take the end of the sponge and I blend out. The thing I like to do is hold my nose here. Make sure you get in the corners of your nose where your face would crease. And then any excess product that you have left, just do it over top of your eyes. If you were to apply eyeshadow, me personally, I'm not an eyeshadow fan, but if you were, now you've created a flawless base to apply your eyeshadow on. You can keep it at this step or you can go a step further. Me personally, I like for my eyes to be a little bit more brighter. So I like to go in with another e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer, and it is in the shade Tan Sand. And same process, except for I only applied in certain places on my face. I'm gonna put just a little bit under my eyes and a tad bit on my forehead. And I'm gonna let that sit for just a little bit. And while that's sitting, I'm gonna go in with my contour shade. I like to use, once again, an e.l.f. Camo concealer. And this is in the shade Rich Cocoa. And these are about $5, $6. You can get them at Walmart, Target. These are probably the best concealers that I've ever had. And so for this, what I like to do is apply a couple of lines here, here, a line here, here, and then here, here, here. Also want to take a couple of dots and carve out my nose. And the first thing I like to do, I'm still going to let the light concealer sit. I'm going to take the brush that we had earlier, the Deluxe Cut Crease Brush by Real Techniques in number 300. And I'm just going to take it and blend out my nose first. I do not like my nose to have, I don't like it to be a deep contour. But I do like my nose to appear smaller. So I do that first. And then I go underneath my lip and I blend out that. And then I blend out my chin. And then I like to switch brushes, and I like to go to a stippling brush, any kind of stippling brush that you have. This one is a e.l.f. small stippling brush. Once again, can be found at any drugstore. Cheeks, and I just do round circular motions, and that is carving out my cheek. And it does look really harsh, but please, please, please trust the process. Once I get everything blended out, your face is gonna look extremely flawless. And so small circles, and I know that looks awful, but please, 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 that's just the beginning. I like to take next, what you do, same sponge that you had before, underneath your eyes. And this, I like to rotate sides to make sure that I get the same amount of coverage on both. And I am just lightly dabbing. You don't want to press too hard in the skin because it will disturb everything that you've already done. And as you can see, it's already coming together. Now that you have your concealer all blended out, now I like to go in and powder contour. That was a cream contour that we just previously did. I like to set it. Anytime you use concealer, I say you need to go in and set it with a powder to ensure that it doesn't move or crease all day long. So for me, I like to use the Morphe Glambronze bronzer in the shade Trailblazer. And I like to use a Real Technique brush. This is Instapop cheek brush, and it is in 405. And I like to dab a little bit, and then I like to, on my cheeks, carve out my cheeks. Same place that you put that cream concealer, you're gonna go in and use this. And it does look harsh, but we will blend it out in just a few moments. Same thing to the other side. And then I like to apply it to the temples of my forehead to make my forehead appear smaller. And then the top of my forehead to make it appear smaller as well. And then any excess you have left over, put it on the bottom of your cheek. And as you can see, it's already giving my face definition. There's a little harsh line, so you just go around in little circles, but we will clean that up with a setting powder in just a few moments. Also, I like to use the same bronzer that I had, and then I just like to take a small eyeshadow brush. Got these from Amazon. These are disposable brushes. They come in a set of 5 for like $15. I just dip it into the Glamour bronzer, and I like to contour out my nose with this. So for this, I like to just pat lightly to carve out the shape of my nose. And I like to start at the eyebrow and curve in to get the desired shape that I want. And same thing, I like to do it again to the other side. And this is going to give the illusion of your nose being smaller. And as you can see, it's already making my nose look snatched. I have a huge nose, so I like to make my nose super, super skinny. I don't know why I like to do this, but it makes me look flawless. And then you just blend it out. So the next part I like to do is I like to set everywhere that I put the light color concealer, which would be under my eyes, my forehead, the bridge of my nose, the bottom of my chin. And I also like to put it on the bottom here to carve out my cheeks. And the setting powder that I like to use is Spun. This can be found at Ulta, Walmart, Target. It is probably one of the best drugstore products that I've ever in my life had. And I have it in the shade Translucent 070. And so what I like to do is open it, turn it upside down, flip it, tap a little bit, about that much into the top. And then before I go in and set it, I like to go underneath my eyes and blend out the concealer. If you have any creases, this is the time to get them out, because basically this powder will be setting it, so you will be setting those creases in your face. So this is the powder. I like to dip and then under my eye. Same thing, under my eye. And I do not like to bake under my eyes. I just like to apply it and immediately blend out. Sometimes I feel like when you bake under your eyes, it causes it to be very white and chalky. So I like to blend it out immediately. And as you can see, it's already white, but it is a translucent powder. So the more that you blend, the more it will absorb into your foundation and your skin. So that's the look it's giving me. And I am just going down the bridge of my nose, the sides of the bridge of my nose. And as you can see, it's already making my nose appear smaller. And then the next thing I like to do is I like to set here above my lip. I do not like to let this bake. And then I will take a little bit and line it up here. This will carve out the contour so it's not as harsh as we originally had it. I do like to let this bake for just a little. And I try to make sure that they're as symmetrical as possible. And then I like to put it here, here, and down the bridge of my nose. And while that is sitting, I will take the brush that we had with the contour shade, the Morphe Bronzer Trailblazer, a little bit of that to carve out my nose a little bit more, because I want my nose to be super snatched and super skinny. Basically, this look, I want to have like a filter-like appearance without actually having to use a filter. And so I'm just going to go back in and define the bronzer in some of those places, because sometimes the air spun, it does wash it out a little bit. And after I let that sit, I will take the sponge and blend in. I like to go in. I'm not really a blush person, but lately I have been using this trick. I'm using the Zulu by Juvia's Place palette. This can be purchased at Ulta, and I want to say I got it for like $10. They have some amazing palettes. Even though this is a eyeshadow palette, I will be using this for a little bit of contour. I'm sorry, not contour. I'll be using this for a little bit of definition to my cheeks, kind of like a blush. I like to use this orange shade here. It is amazing. I just dab it and I put it at the top of my cheekbones. So if you do this, that's where you will apply it. And it will give me a little bit of color. Look at that color. It looks so good. And then same here. And then I take any excess, or just a little bit, and I put it on my forehead to carve it out. And this is how I get this amazing. For some reason, it didn't record me filming my lip, but I can walk you through the process. So I take this brown eyeliner. It's by the brand NK Makeup in the shade brown. Got it from my local beauty supply store. And the only thing I did was I lined my lips like this. And then I took the same pencil that I used for my brows earlier, the LA Colors Auto Eyeliner in the shade dark brown, and then I lined the outside. And then I took the shade NYX Lingerie and the shade 7 Satin Bonnet. Got this from Ulta. And I applied it to the center of my lip, just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to highlight my face. I am going to highlight with, I have lost the top to this, but it is a Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powder. And I'm not sure the shade, but if I find it, I will link it down in the description box. And I'm going to use a setting brush from Real Techniques 402. And I'm going to dip it into the highlighter. And I'm going to do the cheeks. Just like that. The middle of my forehead. And my chin. I'm also going to switch brushes, and I'm going to use a eyeshadow brush. Don't know where I got this from, but I've had it for a very long time. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to dip it into the highlighter. I'm going to put it tip of my nose and right in the center. And at this point, I am going to put on some mascara. The mascara that I use is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist in the shade Extremely Black. And you can stop there if you like, if you wanted to keep the look this way, but you can also do a gloss. For me, I think I'm gonna do a gloss with it. And the gloss that I'm gonna be using is the Colourpop gloss. This has been through it. It has been in the washer and everything. I wanna say it is in the shade Roundabout. And I'm going to apply it. And that is the finished look. Thanks for watching.